Hello and welcome to Mitchell's World. Today we're going to build a oven rack puller. Now what this is used for is just to pull your oven rack out when need be. So you can easily pull this out without burning yourself. And you can push it back in using this top part. Now this is a very easy project, especially for beginners. It's very simple. You can use whatever wood you want. The stronger the better, obviously, like oak would be great. But today we're using pine. It's just a cheaper wood and easier to work with. Now for this we have a stencil. It's very easy. You can make one similar. You don't have to make it exactly like this. You can put little grooves for your fingers. You can do whatever you'd like with it. But for the simplicity of it, we're just sticking with this design. And what I did was I traced it out and then cut it out of just a scrap piece of wood I had. And then I rounded it out using a rasp and file combo. And then I sanded it down using 60 grit, then going to 150, then going to 220. Now you can do whichever you prefer. You can make it as rough as you want, as soft as you want. I made it a little rough. I didn't hit it too much with that 220 grit sandpaper, but just enough to where I can keep a good grip to it so that it doesn't fall out of my hand when I'm pulling this hot oven rack out. Now you can also use these for pulling the grates that you have over a fire. So if you need to pull it out for whatever reason, you're done cooking, we got to cook over that fire, you can use this and it can help you move it, so without burning yourself. Okay, now for an alternative, instead of just spending all that time rasping, filing, and sanding, you can just use a belt and disc sander, a stationary one. Now this is very efficient. You can get that done easy with this. Just be careful. Make sure you have all the protective gear on, like you got your mask so you don't breathe in all that sawdust, and you have eyeglasses. Very important because this sawdust goes everywhere. And make sure you're in a much ventilated spot. Like this right here, this is just for show. I put this outside when I use it. It's very important that you have as much ventilation as possible if you use this. But if you don't have this tool, or you don't want to put the money towards it, a hand file, rasps, and sandpaper do the job. Okay, and now for the drill holes here, you can use really most sizes. Just make sure that it fits onto your grate here. It doesn't have to be too big, too small. Just make sure that it can actually hook into it and that it doesn't come undone and then fall and cause problems. We want to be as safe as possible. And also, to cut this out, I used a bandsaw. And once I drilled these holes, I just used the bandsaw and cut into these and just made that little notch and then pulled that chunk of wood out and you're good to go. Now this right here I would sand and file as best as you can just to make it a little softer, but you don't want it too slick. It's preferred that you have some sort of a grip when you're pulling this out, just to add a little bit more safety with it. And also for this is about 9 inches from end to end. I prefer that, but whatever fits your hand, whatever you prefer to do, if you want to go with a different design, by all means go for it. Just make sure it's safe. Like this right here, I can grip it really well, it fits my hand perfectly, and I don't have to worry about it slipping when I'm pulling it and then pushing the rack back into the oven. So I would stay with around 9 inches in length, but go with whatever you feel comfortable with. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe. And always, always keep your imagination running, and you'll never know what you might come up with. Have a good one.